Calling you a radical 25 years ago today. Last dance on BALCO, last dance on CHEMO. Really ancient fucking history. Talk about ancient fucking history. So, Stockton to Malone. Really? Has it been 25 years? Well, that was a heartbreaking loss, but they'll be right back. Hot Rod Hunley. Fast small with a belt high dribble. Freaking. What? The Miller family, they'll be back. They got a legacy trust through the Utah State Legislature, changed the entire state law on inherited wealth so that they could protect the Jazz forever and never sell the Jazz. What? Larry Miller's wife is married to the Jazz. What? They sold it to BYU? What? They're the BYU Jazz now? What? No. They'll be right back. So it was a heartbreaking loss, you know. Jordan, last dance on BALCO. It was a heartbreaking loss. They'll be right back. The Jazz will be right back in the NBA Finals. They're that good. Oh, really? 25 years? Hasta la vista, baby. Over. The great run of the Utah Jazz, over. So you go from 1985, Karl Malone, to 2000, 15-year period. The highest win percentage of any sports franchise in the old USA. Now, America. Great highest winning percentage, the Utah Jazz. Never won anything. Never won nothing. Never won one thing. So the Heat versus what? No. The Nuggets? What? The Nuggets won game one? No. What? I remember the first Jazz playoff game in history of the Jazz. We used to take a bus from the bar right over here. Courtside. $15. I mean courtside. I have the tickets. Jazz beat Nuggets. What? What? There was only 2 fouls in that game? How many was in the Jazz? Oh, 2 fouls? Shots? He shot 2 free throws? 2? A homeless dude? What? The Jazz, they'll be right back. The BYU Jazz, you mean now. Stockton to Malone, over. The great John Stockton, the great Karl Malone. How come they didn't give the range to Phil Johnson? Jerry Sloan, too predictable. Michael Jordan, who could beat him? Not Stockton. Malone. Nobody could beat him. I mean, they were all that. That Jazz team was all that. They win game 1 in overtime. I was at that game. That freaking arena went psycho. What? The big tin drum? What about the old Salt House? Salt House was a gem. Tore it down. They need big dumb drums for more people. You know, unleash the Lions. They'll be right back. The Jazz will be back. Heartbreaking loss to the great Michael Jordan. Hot Rod Hunley has passed away. Jerry Sloan has passed away. And the Jazz got back. Never came close. Oh, they were the 1 seed. I remember Governor Cox, by the way, is the worst governor we ever had. Caldwell, the mayor here, the worst mayor we ever had. And I work for them all. That's saying a lot. New level of low. Energy solutions are in. What's energy solutions? Oh, nuclear waste. So get this. They're selling off. So Jerry Sloan had a girlfriend for years who I grew up with here. So, you know, Bobby Sloan died of cancer. I used to sit with her. I used to visit with her. Talk about an amazing woman. Incredible. She died of cancer young. In the energy solutions? Why would they call it energy solutions? Nuclear waste all over our place. What an insult. So, I don't have much money. I have full cancer. I get word that Jerry Sloan's got dementia. Jerry's new wife is auctioning off all her stuff. So I go to the thing. I don't have much money. You know, and they're just selling boxes. Bobby Sloan saved everything. I talked to Phil about this at Ronald Bagman's wake. I said, Phil, what the? He says, yeah, they don't care. I went to the Jazz. I said, you should acquire all this stuff. I mean, so people are buying whole boxes. So I'm going to them. Let me look what you got. I'm going to go to this woman. I got the dates in my head. I'm like, whoa, that's Karl Malone's 60-point game right there. I'm thinking to myself. And it's Bobby Sloan. How much? Give me $20. I got 20. Bobby Sloan's NBA Finals ticket. Well, how much? Give me 20. So I got a couple things. So I didn't have hardly any money. I got a few things, but they don't care. They don't care. It's the BYU Jazz now. So Gail Miller lobbies the Utah State Legislature to change the legacy trust law in here to prevent, the old imperialism, inherited wealth running the world, which this country stood against. She lobbies hard because we're going to protect the Jazz for the rest of their life. And remember her son? What's the one son's name? He calls himself Brilliant Miller. Remember he erased the Walker Mansion, the Walker policy, didn't even tell anybody? Illegally. So, yes, so we can own the Jazz forever, leave it in our family forever, protect the Utah Jazz forever. What? She's married to the attorney for the Jazz now? What? And they sold it. It's the BYU Jazz now. 25 years ago today. It's over. You dropped the can. Yeah, they did. Stockton to Malone. Remember, in Game 6, I was at that game. I got to tell this story. I'm sitting right there. I got good tickets. I scalped a ticket. And so, I believe that game was a Sunday. This young woman comes up with it's like her boyfriend. It's legal to scalp there. And I was always a great scalper or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just looking for one. Yeah, we got one. It's my dad's ticket. He can't go today, I believe, because it was a Sunday. And this is Game 6, the famous. So I'm like, how much? Just give me $40. What? Face value on it, $55. And I mean, I'm right there across Stockton. So people forget the Jazz were ahead in that game and had the ball late. There's time for 2 possessions on the clock. Michael Jordan had not done this the whole series. They know they're going to post because Jerry Sloan's that predictable. They're going to post Malone. Where do you think he got that name? Oh, he's here in Utah Post. Where do you think he got that name? They're going to post Malone. And so, Jordan doubles back all the way around, sneaks right up behind. He's not guarding Carl. Rodman is. Gets behind him, steals it. I think could be one of the greatest plays in NBA history right there. The steal. So I'm sitting with some guys that paid $7,000 a piece for their tickets from Chicago. And I'm like, this game's over? What do you mean? The entire world knows who's going to shoot the ball. And so, remember, Jerry Sloan early in the series and in 97 had Chris Morris, who I knew Chris Morris. I used to play blackjack with him in Wendover. He was incredible. And Jordan couldn't get over him. He was so long, and Byron Russell was a really poor defender. Really poor defender. I mean, and he would just stick with him. He didn't double. Of course, maybe he thought he'd kick at the Kerr again. He didn't double. And then I hear all this talk about Scottie Pippen. I'm the great. Please. Scottie Pippen's back was spazzed up. He was like this in that whole game. Michael Jordan beat him by himself in Game 6. And so, sure shit, I'm sitting across here. Ice, baby. But remember, there was still time on the clock. But again, Jerry Sloan was so predictable. And he got out-coached like he always has. I remember George Karl fist fighting with Larry Miller in the stands. George Karl knocked them out of the playoffs when they were the 2 seed twice. He just out-coached him. How about when they're the 1 seed, Governor Cox declares Utah Jazz year, we're going to celebrate for a year when the Jazz win the title. Bloop, beep, 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 bong, bong. Was that Denver that knocked them out? They were the 1 seed. Out in the second round? Yeah. Last dance on BALCO. Last dance on CHEMO. So, they knew every single time what would happen. Stockton's going to shoot a 3. Well, they didn't even need a 3. They needed 2. The whole arena knew. Oh, so did the Bulls. And the Bulls played defense on him. I mean, incredible defense on him. And he couldn't get a clean look. And he missed. So Jazz lose heartbreaker to Bulls. They'll be back. They'll be back in the finals and win it. They'll be right back the next year. What? 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 25 years later? Back. 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 Going. 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 Go that left, Jerry. Gone. 25 years ago today. It's all over, baby. Now the BYU Jazz. Sad. Stand